Hey, it's Erica from Gold Coast Creative. In this video, I'm going to show you how to upload a custom font in Kajabi. This is going to be a pretty quick tutorial, so let's get started. All right, here I am in the back end of Kajabi. I'm in my partner site to show you this, and to get started, you will need your website or landing page template ready to go. For this, I'm just going to use my Rachel series designs, and I'm going to show you how to do it on a website and on a landing page, but they are pretty similar, so it'll be pretty quick switching between the two. And then you'll want your font files. So Kajabi says it takes TTF, EOT, and WOFF2, or WOFF2. I'm not sure exactly how you've pronounced that because that's honestly the first time I've actually said it out loud. I recommend using a WOFF2 file if you can get a hold of it, because that one is actually created for web. It's optimized for web, where a TTF or OTF is optimized for desktop usage. And so it's just going to be a compressed file, and it's going to help your loading speed of your website or landing page. All right, so you want those files ready. And then you also want to figure out what fonts you're changing. So a quick example of what this looks like is if you go inside your website or landing page, you can see in settings and under style guide the different fonts that Kajabi gives you. So out of the box, you can choose a body font, so think paragraph, as well as the header font. And then you can see in the header font, there is 6 different header fonts that you can use, and it will automatically be in that same font. Usually it's just different sizes, and then you have that body font size here. So you may want to use a custom font for all of your headers, or just one specific styling that you change, and we'll go over both of those options today. All right, so decide which one you want to change. If you have no idea, you can just look and see what font you're going to be changing. So for example, you can see here that this is a heading 2. So this is going to be the H2 font that would be changed. Here obviously is the paragraph or the body font. All right, so now you kind of have an idea of what you want to change, your font files, and your page that you're going to change it on. Now we are going to create a landing page and upload those fonts. So we're going to start by clicking on landing pages, and we're going to create a new landing page. Don't worry about the design of this or the look of this. It is going to be unpublished, and it's literally just an area to upload your font. So I'm going to choose blank. I'm going to say get started, and I'm going to call this one internal assets. All right, now we're here. I'm just going to delete this section that comes with it, and I'm going to add a button or call to action section. Now that we have the call to action section, we are going to actually upload our font file to this button. So we're going to go down to call to action. We are going to click download a file. And this allows us to upload a file to Kajabi so that they have it in their system. So one thing to note is that a lot of custom fonts have different font weights. So the one I'm going to be using today as an example is the Signifier font. This is a font that I'm testing to possibly add to a new website template. And you can see all of the different styles or font weights that are included within this font. So the first thing that I need to do is I need to choose what font weight or font style I want to use for my website. And I'm going to download that as a WOFF2 file. And then I'm also going to download the Italic version of that. And then I'm going to download what I want to be the bold version of that. So I can either choose to just download the bold version as it is, or I can have a little more control over the font. For example, I'm going to choose extra light for my font weight. And instead of using what they call as the bold here, I'm actually going to use the medium font weight and the medium italic as my bold and my bold italic. So I'll show you this in play so that it's not confusing. So choose what font weight you want to use, unless your font only comes with one. And then download that, download the italic, and whatever you want for the bold font weight for that font as well. Now, when I upload those files, first I'm going to click Pick File, and I'm just going to drag and drop that first file here. So I am going to take my extra light and just drag it here. And then the next step of what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually retitle the button so I can keep track of what I'm doing. And then I'm going to click save, and I'm going to repeat this action. So I'm going to come back up here. I'm going to add a call to action. I'm going to change this to a download file. I'm going to pick a file. I'm now going to upload the extra light italic, drag and drop that. I'm going to rename it extra light italic and save. And then to finish up, I'm going to do that for my bold and bold italic. All right, now once you have all the different font weights that you want to use on your site uploaded as separate button files and added to your Kajabi site, we're going to click the preview button. So we are just going to right click and then copy link address. And I'm going to save these in just my notes app and copy them to use them in a moment. So I'm opening a new note and I'm just copying and pasting the link that it gives me. Awesome. Once you have those addresses copied, we are now going to go back into Kajabi. We are going to go back to the landing pages, and I'm going to show you how to add it to a landing page first. And then basically it's going to be the same steps in your website. So I'm going to click customize. I'm going to go to settings, and then I'm going to go to custom code. Now, because this is a template that I have designed, I have added custom code already to give it some design animation and some styling that does not come out of the box with Kajabi. So I am going to drag this little arrows here to open up my custom code and just do a couple returns so I can add the code right at the top. Now we're going to call in those fonts, and we're going to do that by copying in some code. Now, if code is completely new to you, don't worry. As long as you copy it exactly, it should work perfectly for you. I will make a blog post for this one that will be linked in the description, so you can copy and paste all of that code from the blog post with different examples to make it easy on you. All right, now I am going to start by doing my @ symbol and then calling in this font. We're going to do an open bracket and then name the font family. After the apostrophe, you will want to type in the name of your font. And then we are entering the URL for it to find that font. And so right here, I'm actually going to finish it by doing the apostrophe and closing tag so I can see what I'm doing in between. Right here, we are going to add that URL that we got, that first one that we got from that link. So I will show you exactly my link. I'm going to paste it in between here. And here is that link from this button page that we grabbed earlier and stuck in our notes tab. So I'm going to paste that right here. And then I'm going to delete everything from this .com and before it. So it should do a slash and then a resource_redirect. And that is going to help me call in my font. And then just to finish up, I'm going to put in the format because this is a wolf file. We are going to do a wolf2 and then end it with a semicolon and a bracket. Awesome. We have called in one font now, and this is different than a Google Fonts or Adobe Fonts where you can call in multiple font weights in one area. You have to call in font weights individually. So we're going to copy and paste and replace the links with those other links that we've grabbed. So as you can see, I'm going to copy here. I'm going to go down 2 lines so I can see what I'm doing. And this one's going to be extra light italic. And then I'm just going to replace this URL with that second URL that I grabbed. And then I'm going to make sure that I delete everything from that .com and before. And I'm going to do that 2 more times. And I'm making sure to change the name every single time so I know what the font is called. And then I'm just going to hit save so I don't lose my work. All right, now we're actually going to tell it where to use those fonts. So if you want it in the body copy, you will type in this code with brackets and put in the font family in here. So that will look like this. So again, you can copy this code. Just make sure that the text here is exactly the same as the first font family that you have. So just to make sure and to show you, I will copy this and stick it in right here. And this is telling it, please use the font on the body copy that is called in the URL right here. All right, now you will want to write either serif if it is a font that has strokes at the top and bottom of each letter. If it is a font that does not and is cleaner like this, then you will want to write in sans serif. And this just says, hey, as a backup, use a classic serif font or sans serif font as the alternative font. Now I am using a serif font, so I'm going to keep it like this. Now, if you have a specific header font that you want to call in, you are going to type that in here. For example, header 2 is one that I use a lot. If I want to change out all of the header fonts, then I just list them with commas in between. And I think there are 6 if I'm remembering correctly. And then do not have a comma at the end of this one. All right, I hope that helps. Again, you can refer to the blog post if you want to have those specific options to look at closer. Then you're going to click save. And once your page is loaded, you should see that the font has already changed here. So you can see all of my header fonts are changed to that new custom font. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to show you is why I uploaded those specific italic and bold fonts and why it's an optional step in this process. So you can see already, this is taking the custom font and then adding almost like a faux italics by slanting it and a faux bold by adding an extra almost like stroke around the font weight here. And it doesn't look bad, but the font designer created specific fonts for this and a specific look and feel. And if we want to use that, we can. So to simplify this, I am actually just going to show you this on the H2 font. However, if you want to use it on all of your header fonts or in your body paragraph font, that code will be made available in the blog post, so you can copy that and paste that specifically, so don't worry about that. And now we're just going to copy this code and tell it to use those other fonts for the italics. First, we're going to type in EM, and that's just the CSS code that tells it that when it's using the H2 italics, we're going to now use this font. So we're going to copy it exactly. We're going to come down and paste it in. And I want to make sure I still have that apostrophe and comma, and then we're going to click save. And then we're going to do the same thing for the bold, and we're going to change that to strong. Strong is the CSS for bold in this, and we're going to tell it to use this medium font that we've uploaded. And I grabbed the apostrophe, so I need to redo that. Okay, and then also for the italic bold. And I just know that this is the title for the last one. I'm going to double check that. Yeah. All right. Now, before I click save, one thing that I want to explain to you. If we click save now, it will upload this bold font and then continue to add that stroke around it artificially. So it will be even more bold. So we need to tell it to use the font weight that comes with this font. Now, if that's something that you're like, how am I supposed to know that? Here's a quick little chart that shows you how these match up with your different fonts. You can refer to this in the blog post, so you don't have to take a screenshot. And then you can just copy that into your code right here by doing font weight, colon, this one is 500, semicolon, and I'm going to add that to my italic bold as well, so I don't get that extra stroke around it. Awesome. Now I'm going to click save. Here I'm going to click preview, and I'm going to then show you what this looks like. Awesome. You can see how this is now, and here's where it was before. So you can see a comparison of the two and how the italics and the bold italics change when you upload and call out that font. All right, so the last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you exactly what that looks like to add that to your website as well. It will be super fast. So we're going to copy all of the code that we added. We are going to go back. We are going to design. We are going to go to customize on our website. And it's going to be exactly the same. So we're going to click settings, custom code, pull this out so I can see it, add some returns so I can add that custom code, copy and paste it here, and then just click save, and you can watch this transform into our new font. All right, there you have it. All right, just a quick recap. We went over how to upload your custom font to your Kajabi site so that you can have it match your brand perfectly with no faux bolds or faux italics and no sluggish load times. If that helped you, hit subscribe so you can get more Kajabi shortcuts from me. And speaking of shortcuts, in the next video, we'll be talking about how to add designer quality icons to your Kajabi pages. This is a technique I use as a web designer to add brand personality and professionalism to my different website pages, and I go through it step by step. It's actually super easy to do and you won't want to miss it. So hit here if it's already loaded and you can watch that video next. Otherwise, I will be uploading it soon. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in the next video.